This UTR Media presentation is sponsored by Vision Trust, serving at-risk children around the world since 1997. More info at visiontrust.org. So glad you're with us for the Backyard Concert Series, and our next guest is Drew Miller. I think one of the best songwriters I've encountered in recent years, just an amazing lyricist, and just love the songs you've been releasing. Can you tell me about your latest project? Because you kind of weaved a couple themes together, kind of take the listener on a journey.
Yeah, sure. So my latest project is 2 EPs, actually. So both of them are 4 songs each, Desolation and Consolation. And it's funny because I released it about a year ago. And pretty much exactly a year ago, actually. And at the time, felt like there's plenty of subject matter for desolation in the world.
Without even knowing what
2020 came along.
So, hold my beer.
Like, okay. So it felt kind of like I wrote like a project that was just a size too big for 2019, and I didn't really know it. And then 2020 came, and so here's a time where there's plenty of desolation and plenty of need for consolation as well. So yeah, those are the themes, and it's been really fun to play these songs and share them with people.
Well, it's always great to just have you just weave hope into the mix so easily, seamlessly, that I think it just really speaks to people's hearts in a deep way. So really glad you could be here. All right.
Thanks for having me.
Let's enjoy Drew Miller.
Sweet. So I'm actually going to play a couple new songs that aren't from that project. So fun times. This first one is called New Wine.
No surprises here. There's nothing more predictable than fear. We haven't changed much since you will not surely die from just a touch. La da 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 da. Let the dead rhythms ring. We have always turned the world into a thing, and the shadow makes its haste, like a thief who knows his running is a waste. New wine in old skin, it's gonna take time to break in. The old signs at the dead end are where the next life begins. With new wine. Coming soon. Bitter sleep under a grief-stricken moon. If you refuse her when she comes, then you will never be among the waking ones. New wine in old skin is gonna take time to break in. The old signs at the dead end are where the next life begins. And I've tried makes it taste, and the shadow makes it taste. Let the shadow make it taste.
Thank you. So that was New Wine. A theme that I've been really interested in recently is just the theme of surprise. I think we live a lot of our lives with this assumption that the more predictable life can be, the better it will be to live, which in the short term, super useful for like the weather, you know, stuff like that. But in the long term, I think a blind spot just starts growing when we really buy all the way into just a life of being able to predict what's going to happen. And I think one of the things that the gospel is so good at doing is exposing the insufficiencies and even kind of the absurdities of living a life that way. And being exposed, having those things exposed, is never without its pain. But I think ultimately it's less for our harm and more for our good. And so this is a song all about surprises. And surprise, surprise, my E string's a little out of tune. There we go. So it's a song called There Will Be Surprises, and I hope it surprises you.
I hear you calling the exceptions to your own arbitrary rules. I see you celebrate deception, but you've been fooled. You think you're controlling all this chaos. You think you're the master of your lies. If you think your violence will pay off, you're gonna be surprised. Oh, there will be surprises. You can bet that Babylon was pretty, with gardens lining every gate. What could sink this holy city but its own weight? So when every child from every corner who now escapes your line of sight inherits kingdoms with the mourners, don't be surprised. Oh, there will be surprises. There will be surprises. Well, I've seen humans upward striving, trying to be more than flesh and blood, till their ambition leaves them writhing in the mud. But I saw a human one ascending, riding clouds across the sky, overturning and upending. His wounds were glorified. Oh, and there were surprises. There will be surprises.
Thanks.
That was awesome. Thanks, Drew.
Appreciate
so
it.
good. So speaking of surprises,
Yes.
I want to ask you about this weird 2020 year.
Oh man.
Because you on a weekly basis ask the folks in the Rabbit Room community to share the surprises that are kind of hitting them each week, whether it be like a book they encounter or a podcast or a movie that sort of swept them off their feet. So has there been anything that's kind of surprised you this year in terms of like, oh, I would have never really given that a chance if I didn't have this, downtime or just unusual circumstance of a year?
Oh my gosh, that's such a good question. I feel like there's so many to choose from. So certainly I've been perusing Netflix a little bit more
Yeah, right.
than before.
Most
and
of us.
my wife and I just fell hard for The Last Dance.
Oh yeah,
all about
I'm in the middle of watching that.
You're in the middle of it?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's so good. Even if you're not like a sports person, the psychology of it and like the sort of team dynamics and the way that people interact is just so endlessly fascinating.
Yeah.
Man, and books too, for sure. I'm trying to think of. I just recently was reading David Foster Wallace for the first time, which was really fun. He's got some really funny essays. He has one called "A Supposedly Fun Thing I'll Never Do Again," about his experience on a cruise.
Okay.
He was like paid to do this for. It was like a journalism thing where he was. Somebody hired him to go on a cruise and just write about like what cruises are and just kind of observe it and analyze it, and it's surprisingly hilarious and also very insightful. So those are two recommendations that
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for spending time here and sharing your songs. Really good stuff.
Thanks for inviting me.
All right, we
Appreciate it
have
so much.
more of Drew's music. If you just want to dig in a little bit deeper, we're going to put all of the links to kind of where they can stream your music and find your social media channels and all that. It'll be in the description of this video, so check it out. Check out more of Drew, and thanks for doing this.
Awesome. Thank you
All
so
right.
much, Dave.
We'll see ya.